What a good looking car. Hello YouTubers. In this video I thought I would cover the installation of a trickle charger onto the Camaro. Need to do this because I'm getting a battery low indication every once in a while when I go to crank the car. And so to avoid that and draining out the battery and causing the battery to wear out faster, I'm going to hook up a trickle charger. And this is going to be a little bit different in that I'm going to hook it to the front of the car versus the rear of the car. For two reasons. One, if it's hooked to the front of the car and I leave the hood open for the connection, I'm going to get an alert as soon as I crank up the car that says the hood is open. And that'll be my indication that I need to disconnect the battery charger. So it'll be a reminder not to drive off with stuff hooked to the car and just thinking I'm happy-go-lucky and can ride off. The other reason is if I hook it to the rear of the car, I got to leave the rear open and there's a light that stays on in the rear of the car. And I don't want to have the light on all the time. So I don't want to hook it there either. So that we're going to hook it to the front. When I hook this up, it's going to work the same. You know, the best place to hook up a trickle charger is directly onto the battery in the rear, but it's not the only place you can hook up a trickle charger. So we're going to hook it up to the jump off points in the front of the car. So let's cover the parts that I'm going to be using so that you know what's happening, and then we'll cover the installation. So this is what I bought here at Amazon Black Friday Day. I bought the Genius 5 from Noco and the Genius 10. This one was $50 on sale, and the 10 was $75 on sale. So either one will work. Even a 2 amp or a 1.25 or a 1 amp will work for this purpose. I went ahead and bought these two because I also have a battery that I charge on golf carts and stuff like that. So my wife said, keep whichever one that's cheaper. I'm keeping that one. I like that one. 10 amps is better than 5 amps, so I'm going to go with the 10 amp. Don't tell her. In addition to that, I bought this guy. And this is going to be what I hook to the battery, or to the jump off points in the Camaro, and then I will hook to here. The reason I went ahead and bought that is because this comes with an alligator clip right here. I still want to keep that functionality. Here's the quick disconnect. So I'm going to disconnect the alligator clips and punch in these guys at the quick disconnect. This will allow me to use the battery charger, trickle charger, for other purposes than just the Camaro. So that's what I bought. That's what we're going to install. So let's get at it. So a minute ago, I talked about the jump off points for the front of the Camaro, and here they are. Here's the negative side, negative, and obviously this is the positive side, the hot side. So I'm not going to hook here, well, I am going to hook here, but I'm not going to hook to this. This is going to come off, and I'm going to lift this little panel here up. If I can get it, there we go. Take that off. Since this is connected to this panel, I'm going to hook my trickle charger to this panel. It's all across the same board. So why not hook here and hook here versus trying to tap onto the top of this for no real purpose. This can remain just like it is. My wiring will hook here. It'll be nice and hidden. nobody will see anything, and then the functionality of the jump off point still remains. So let me find a screw that fits this, and we're going to hook up that quick disconnect over there. All right, to prove that this whole bank here is energized from the battery, I'm going to hook up my multimeter, and we're going to pick this slot here. Any slot, even a current one, whatever, it's going to work, but I'm going to choose this one. And what we're going to do, I've already got the negative hooked to the negative. It's just touching there. So we should see 12.19, and I'm hooked here. So when I plug up the quick disconnect to the Trickle Charger, it's going to energize here. Now, people can get confused by this. It can energize here. It could energize at a cigarette lighter, inside the car. As long as it has a connection to the battery, your Trickle Charger will charge the battery. It does not have to physically sit onto the battery. That's the best place to hook it up. But like I said earlier, it's not the only place you can hook this up. So we're going to hook it here. The battery will get charged from this point, not from the battery itself. So let's hook up the, oh, let me show you this. I found a screw, a nut that works for here. It's very similar to what's already there. I have no idea what this is. So normally there's some sort of casting number that indicates what this is. I don't know, but this is the screw that would fit there. So I wish I could tell you which screw to buy, but I don't know. So let's get the kit and we'll plug it up. So loosen this up, and we're going to insert the negative eyelet into this, and we're going to hook up the positive eyelet to that. So far, all I've done is pop the cap, loosen this up with a 13mm wrench, getting ready to take it off, insert the eyelet and screw, and then button it up. Be right back. Okay, so ran into a snag. You see the eyelet size here, the negative? It will not go onto the screw. So when you go to match it up with the size of this, you pretty much would have to drill out most of the conductive copper parts here. So I don't want to have to drill that out, meaning I don't want to have to make the eyelet bigger to go around this. What I do have is option B, which is what I planned for. So I bought this to hook to the car hoping it would work. It didn't. It did not work. It's too small of an eyelet hole. But I knew when I bought this that you can take apart this. It tells you can take it apart. So I took it apart, and this eyelet size off the negative, I'll show you how to take it apart, is bigger. So I knew there's only two different sizes these things come in, M10 and M6. And there we go. So the M10 fits no problem. This is what comes on this by default. So when I take this off, and it tells you this is how this is an option. So I didn't have to buy that. I wanted to buy that so that I can leave it in the car forever and then not have to hook up alligator clips at any old time. So just what you got to do is unscrew this. Here's what it looks like when you unscrew it. And then take your new part that you bought for the Camaro for this purpose and just interchange them. Hook them back up just as it was. It'll hook just fine. Just screw it all back together. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to swap this for this and hook this one in the car. Okay, so the parts are swapped out. My accessory I bought is now hooked to the alligator clips. And the ones that came with it are right here, ready to go. So let's hook these to the car. Okay, so it's all hooked up. It's hooked up here, no problem, just screwed it on real tight. Hooked on to the negative side. You can barely see the copper in there, but it's there. There it is, okay. Yeah. And then I just have the connection sitting here waiting for the Trickle Charger. So I'm gonna hook this back up. It would never happen minus seeing that red wire, but it's the way it is. I think this hooks like this pretty good. That way, you know, it won't really go anywhere when you're driving around. So let's get the Trickle Charger and get that all connected up. All right, so I'm about to mount this. I ran into an issue. So this thing I wanted to mount here, right above the electrical connection, but the cord that reaches to the Camaro is not long enough. So what I'm gonna have to do is just set it here until I can get an extension. So there it sits, it's plugged in. And now we'll make the connection. Okay, so I made the connection. There's no way to hook this up wrong. It's not possible. So this right here, push on it and it will disconnect the unit, and then it just simply plugged right in. So make the connections, set it to the side, and now let's take this bracket off. Well, I'll get it off in a second. Anyway, so let's see how this thing's gonna shut. Perfect. Perfection. Okay, so we're hooked. Let's get this bad boy on. On 12-volt battery. Change the mode to AGM. That's what this is, 12-volt AGM. And it should go through and start to read the battery. So here it is. It's detecting a low charge. It'll keep working its way up until it detects where it really is. So anyway, this could take some time for it to read the battery. So I'll pick back up in just a moment. Just giving you an idea, it's still reading the battery, working its way up. So be back in a minute. Okay, YouTubers, so it's charged, as I knew it was. The pulsating light means that it's doing a trickle charge. If it were, I can't remember the other schemes, but this is an indication that it's doing a trickle charge. So slowly charging the battery, keeping it up to date, topping it off if you will. So that's it, all hooked up. Eventually this will get mounted up here. And this whole thing probably took 5 minutes to hook up. Again, I bought the Nuco Genius 10 the Noco quick disconnect. M6 is the 6 is for the 6 millimeters for the eyelet size. Remember the Noco Genius came with a 10 millimeter eyelet size that I swapped out. So this wire is this hooked to the alligator clips, and what was hooked to the alligator clips is now on the car. Eventually I'll get this mounted up, and that should be it. This project was quite simple, and I hope it keeps the battery from running low all the time. So YouTubers, if you like the video, please like the video.